A blonde was reading a vanity magazine about how baths in milk would make her beautiful. So the next day, she left a note for her milkman to leave 25 gallons of milk. When the milkman read the note, he felt there must be a mistake. He thought she probably meant 2.5 gallons. So he knocked on the door to clarify the point. The blonde came to the door and the milkman said, "I found your note asking me to leave 25 gallons of milk, but did you mean 2.5 gallons? The blonde said, "Nope, I want 25 gallons. I'm going to fill my bathtub up with milk and take a milk bath so I can look even more young and beautiful." The milkman inquired, "Do you want it pasteurized?" The blonde said, "Oh no, just up to my shoulders is fine." A woman's doctor prescribes her testosterone for better bone density, libido, and mood. The woman is a bit dubious, but readily follows the doctor's orders. A few days later, the doctor gets a call from the woman. "How are you feeling, Mrs. Smith?" he asks. She replies, "Oh, just wonderful. I am noticing a positive change with my hormones." She pauses, then continues, "I am suffering from a little extra hair growth, though." "Oh, a little extra hair is perfectly normal when on a testosterone course," the doctor says reassuringly. "Where is the hair growing?" "Well, that's the other issue I wanted to discuss with you," she admits. "It's growing on my balls." An 18-year-old single Catholic girl enters a church in tears. "Please, Father, help me." "What is it, my child?" "Father, I need your help. I'm pregnant." The priest sighed. "I understand, my child. You have sinned, but you are not the first, nor the last. Our Lord is all forgiving, and I'm here to help you through this. But first, I need to understand how it happened." "I don't know, Father. I have not sinned. It just happened." The priest raised his eyebrows, concerned. "What do you mean, my child? Who is the father?" "There is no father. I've never been close to a man in my entire life." "Did something unusual happen? Is a family member pressuring you? Or do you remember passing out at a party after a stranger offered you a drink?" "Nothing of the sort, Father. I'm a shy girl who doesn't party, and I spend most of my days at home." "Look, I cannot help you if you do not tell me the truth. If you are not honest with me, I may have to report this to the police," replied the priest, mildly annoyed. The girl dropped her defeated eyes to the ground. "I knew it wouldn't work. I should have listened to my friend." The priest smiled, saddened. "I understand how difficult this is, my child, but I promise everything is going to be all right." "So, what did your friend say?" "She warned me that the last time a girl managed to pull this one with a priest, she had to create an entire new religion to cover it up." An elderly lady calls her neighbor and says, "Please come over and help me. I have a puzzle and I can't figure out how to get started." Her neighbor asks, "What is it supposed to be when it's done?" The little silver-haired lady says, "According to the picture on the box, it's a rooster." He decides to go over and help with the puzzle. She lets him in and shows him where she has the puzzle pieces spread over the table. He studies the pieces for a minute, then looks at the box, then turns to her and says, "First of all, no matter what we do, we're not going to be able to assemble these pieces into anything resembling a rooster." He takes her hand and says, "Secondly, I want you to relax. Let's have a nice cup of tea." He then says with a kind smile, "Let's put all of the cornflakes back in the box." 4 guys have been going on the same fishing trip for many years. A few days before the group's annual departure date, John's new wife puts her foot down and tells him he isn't allowed to go. John's fishing buddies are very upset that he can't go, but what can they do? 2 days later, the 3 get to the camping site and find John sitting there, his tent up, firewood gathered, dinner roasting on the fire, and of course, drinking a cold beer. "Heck, John, how long have you been here? And how did you talk your missus into letting you go?" "Well," said John, "I've been here since last night. Yesterday evening, I was sitting in my recliner when my wife came up behind me, put her hands over my eyes and asked, Guess who? I pulled her hands off, and there she was, wearing nothing but a see-through nightie. She took my hand and led me into the bedroom, where she lit candles and put rose petals all over the room. You see, she's been reading 50 Shades of Grey. On the bed, she had handcuffs and ropes. She winked and said to tie her up and cuff her to the bed. So I did. And then she said in a sexy voice, "Do whatever you want." So lads, here I am. Lost at sea, two Irishmen, Patrick and Michael, were adrift in a lifeboat following a dramatic escape from a burning freighter. While rummaging through the boat's provisions, Patrick stumbled across an old lamp. Secretly hoping that a genie would appear, he rubbed the lamp vigorously. To his amazement, a genie came forth. This particular genie, however, stated that he could only deliver one wish, not the standard three. Without giving much thought to the matter, Patrick blurted out, "Change the entire ocean into Guinness beer!" The genie clapped his hands with a deafening crash, and immediately the entire sea turned into the finest brew ever sampled by mortals. Simultaneously, the genie vanished. Only the gentle lapping of Guinness on the hull broke the stillness as the two men considered their circumstances. Michael stared in disbelief at Patrick, and after a long, tension-filled moment, he spoke. "You daft fool, Patrick! Now we have to pee in the boat." Two racehorses were sitting at a bar, having a few beers when one turns to the other and says, "Jerry, something really strange happened to me at the track the other day." "What happened, Bill?" "Well, I was running a race, and I was stuck in the middle of the pack trying to break away. I thought I would lose that race, but then I saw a strange light flash from the stands. I turned and looked at it, and whoosh, all of a sudden, I was at the front of the pack, and I ended up winning the race." "Holy crap," said Jerry. "Bill, that's exactly what happened to me only a few days ago. I was running a race, and about halfway I started to drop back. I thought I was going to lose for sure, but then I saw that strange light coming from the stands. You're right, Jerry. It just seemed to get brighter, and then suddenly, whoosh, there I was, 5 lengths in front, and I ended up winning the race." As the two racehorses discussed the incident, a race dog sitting at a nearby stool came up to them. "Excuse me, lads," said the race dog. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and I wanted to let you know that that very same thing happened to me about a week ago down at the track. I was running a race and struggling on the outside lane trying to get some space when I started to drift further back and away from the lead. I knew I was going to lose that race, but then that very strange light that you boys had just described started pulsing from the stands. Well, as you may have already guessed, whoosh, there I was, up at the front, and I ended up winning that race, although I've never been able to figure out exactly how." The two horses were awestruck. "Holy crap, Bill! Did you just hear what I heard?" "I can't believe it," said Jerry. "It's a damn talking dog."